My first ever tech video. The new, highly anticipated and high-end, truly overpowered and maxed out 16-inch MacBook Pro M1 Max 30-core GPU with 64GB of RAM and with an SSD of 4TB is finally here. Guys, I wasn't supposed to have this Mac until early December. Then, it moved to mid-November, yet I already got it on the release date. What did I do? In this video we'll also unbox the silver YouTube play button. What do I mean silver YouTube play button? I literally have 0 subscribers here as I'm making this video. Okay, why did I buy this overpowered MacBook? Was it a tremendously powerful new M1 Max chip? Or the gorgeous XDR screen? What does XDR actually stand for? Or was this an irrational purchase to boost my ego by filling an insecurity gap? Let's quickly unbox the YouTube plaque and then move to the supreme and almighty MacBook Pro with a ridiculous price tag. But first, this place doesn't look like it belongs to a tech channel. Much better. I love the overexposed, clean white look. Let's get into the video. Since the beginning of 2021, my old MacBook Pro 13-inch late 2013 became a limiting factor in my increasingly complex editing videos. Making videos like these was becoming a living hell. One of the skills almost all successful people have acquired is the ability of reading people. By the end of this video series, you'll acquire the foundation for a very easy and powerful framework. Then, once you know your own behavior type, you recognize others and you're able to adjust your way of speaking, writing, thinking, and ultimately your own behavioral pattern to increase the likelihood for a more effective and pleasant communication. Not only all of that, but besides this, Adobe Premiere continuously kept crashing on me, and let's not even talk about After Effects. So I decided it would be a good investment to wait for the new MacBook Pro 2021, but as many of you felt the sting, it wasn't released in the expected April event. Editing the body language videos was a horrendous nightmare. Crash after crash after crash, I couldn't continue editing like that. As a result, in the meanwhile, I decided to buy this M1 Mac Mini 8GB of RAM, and guys, it was a game changer. So much power in such a tiny machine, wonderful. My workflow was upgraded tremendously. However, every now and then, even this one crashed. Semi-complex After Effects projects were not doable at all. But then, this bad boy was announced. Within an hour after the well-presented, eloquent Apple event ended, I pre-ordered this one. I felt the thrill and was excited, pumped up, life became increasingly vivid, but then this happened. Really? You pay over 4,300 euros, which was the 1TB version by the way, and still have to wait for that long. Then, the next day, a light ray of hope shined upon me because this happened. I was hooked. Like a fiend, I kept refreshing the page in the hopes of another delivery update. It didn't happen. So I decided I wanted to do everything in between patient treatments to get my hands on these and get them on the actual release date. So what did I do? Guys, I called over 20 AMAC stores in the Netherlands, no luck. Kept calling and calling, days went by and then I spoke to the guy in the Apple store, great service by the way, and he told me the 16-inch 32-core 64GB of RAM with an SSD of 4TB would also come in, so I should keep an eye on the website. And that's what I did. I set an alarm at midnight to check the website. No luck. So I went back to sleep. When I woke up as usually at 4 AM, still no luck. So I packed my bags, went to the gym and bang, it was updated. Now there was a problem. I am on a 30-day no smartphone challenge. However, for the time being, I am using a top-of-the-line phone right now. This is it, my high-tech, guaranteed productivity-boosting phone. Anyhow, I won't bore you with how I got it pre-ordered and found the address, drove to Amsterdam, parked my car in a peculiar manner, but I did get the job done. And at 10 AM, I picked this upgraded model for over 5,000 euros. Yeah, I decided to go with the 4TB instead of the originally planned 1TB one. By the way, that is the price even with the student discount. Let's see what's inside the box and get into some of the specs of this beast. And also why I specifically bought this overpowered configuration and why you most likely should not pay this ridiculous price for a laptop like this. Let's put the MacBook to the side now. The MagSafe. For those who upgraded from the more recent MacBook Pro models, this is a treasure return to you. The MacBooks I've used all had a MagSafe charger, and I'm not the type of person to get the newest model of everything. I used to be like that with phones back in the days, but honestly, it usually is a waste of money and withholds me from reaching my goals and dreams. Oh, by the way, they are called MagSafe because of two reasons, as the name suggests. Mag stands for magnetic and safe for safety. You might wonder, safety how? Let's say your MacBook is in the charger. You walk by and you trip over the cable. Instead of your entire MacBook falling off the desk, the MagSafe is there for the rescue. It will just disconnect. Hence, the safety in MagSafe. Oh, this is a pleasant surprise. I love how the cable feels. This is definitely new for me. Look at this texture. Some black Apple logo stickers. I wouldn't know what to use these for, but they sure look nice. This is looking sleek, lovely embossing of the MacBook Pro text in the chassis. They took it away from the screen, presumably to make room for the screen, which I'll get to in a second. The corners are rounded, and it has a thicker, robuster enclosure. The black keyboard, I'm digging this. Looks very clean and neat. They got rid of the butterfly touch bar. It looked nice, but I haven't used it myself, so can't tell you whether this is an actual improvement or not. Sleek design. Let's look at the ports. HDMI port is back. Awesome, even though it's not a 2.1 HDMI, but great for quick use. Let's say you have a presentation or quickly want to watch something on the television with your family. You just plug the HDMI cable in and off you go. Now, this is another sight for sore eyes. When they took away the SD card slot, I didn't expect them to bring this back. Having it makes my workflow so much easier. Recently, with the Mac Mini, I had to put the video files on my MacBook Pro 2013, then either transfer them via hard disk or via AirDrop. Guys, way too many steps. By the way, my dad recently bought one of these hubs for his M1 Mac Mini, and since I didn't get a Thunderbolt cable delivered with this high-end MacBook, disappointing Apple, I'll gladly use that to transfer files. Let's have a look at the screen. This is a game changer, noticeable improvement. The screen real estate is the sole reason I got the 16-inch. It will make my life way easier doing research, scripting and editing. As for the specs of the screen, it's a 16.2-inch, diagonally speaking, Liquid Retina XDR display, and XDR stands for Extreme Dynamic Range. It's got a 3456 by 2234 pixels with a resolution at 254 pixel per inch. It has up to 1000 nits sustained brightness with 1600 nits peak brightness and a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. It has 1 billion colors with True Tone technology and uses ProMotion technology for adaptive refresh rates up to 120 Hz. You can change this, by the way, in the settings to your liking, of course. Besides the overwhelming stats of the chips, the screen is really a tremendous upgrade compared to the previous models. I don't believe there are better screens available on, well, certainly not on MacBook models, but perhaps even other laptops as of today. But I'm not sure about that, so if you are, let me know in the comments below. As for the notch, I actually love it. Smart way of differentiating themselves from their competitors. I dig their philosophy of instead of putting text with their logos, they chose to go, let's make the design Apple-like with these notches. Just like on the iPhone, the webcam is upgraded to 1080p. I personally won't use it much, if at all, because I hook up my Sony camera for Zoom meetings. Let's test the webcam though, to see how it looks. Okay guys, let's do the quick test, how it looks. As you can see, it softens your face a lot. But all in all, the quality is quite good. Guys, one thing I've noticed is the speakers on this thing are an absolute beast. When I saw the surround-like audio technology, I thought of it, yeah, sure. But when you listen to it, it really forms some kind of bubble around you. The bass is also deep. I'm definitely enjoying that one. As for the thermal design, I'm excited to eventually hit the maximum of this beast within a couple of years. Apple claims that these new thermal systems are capable of moving 50% more air at lower fan speeds. I'll update in a later stadium of this channel how it performs and if I'm even able to hit those fans running at high speed. Quick note guys, the MacBook has been out for over 2 weeks and I'm just starting the editing process. However, the fans have finally turned on. Quite a few times actually in my editing process of the previous video I released on my other channel, which is Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker, and I go in that video on the ethical variant of this law of power. The editing has been really fantastic, I can't put it any other way, and it's been an amazing experience doing my stuff with this MacBook. Anyhow, short note was, the fans have actually turned on, which I didn't expect to happen for at least for the upcoming months, if not years. The fans on my old 13-inch 2013 model would be on constantly when I was editing. As for the Mac Mini, I don't actually remember whether they would occasionally turn on during the later stages of editing of my videos, like these for example. The 6 traits of a high status walk for man and woman. Your walk is the first thing people notice about you. Without uttering a single word, you tell a great deal about yourself. Remember, you do not get a second chance for your first impression. The traits or commonalities we will cover will be built on one another. Along the way in the video, you will be tested to see and spot what makes these walks so damn sexy. And per your request, at the end you will be provided an exercise and the diehards among you, the 1%, the go-getters. They will create their own unique walk using that exercise in combination with the information in this video. Guys, before we move to the amazing battery performance, the M1 Max chips and why I bought this overpriced MacBook in the first place. Real quickly guys, for those who don't know me, my name is Shayan. I'm a growth-oriented individual and also have another YouTube channel with the sole purpose of providing tools and strategies that you can implement in your life so you can achieve your desired goals and dreams. And more importantly, to maximize your potential. On that channel I make videos about personal development, power, ethically guys, and body language. That channel went from 180 to over 100,000 subscribers in less than a year. I'm also a very soon to be dentist and this is my first tech video. The goal of this channel is to expose you to new technological developments, show you the process of making YouTube videos, and yes, that includes editing, which a great deal of you guys asked me to make videos on, and also explore a passion of mine, filmmaking. Oh, and I'm in no way, shape or form advanced in these matters, but it is a fun journey to hop on, and I'm extremely certain that we will grow together as this channel ages. I'll let you guys steer the direction of this channel as we move along. If those things resonate with you, consider subscribing. And for the people who came here from my other channel, no worries, I will continue making videos on that channel. Let's continue with this video. Another important thing for me is the battery life. I will use this as my main editing system. I can make utmost use of my time now by working on the go. For example, when I go to university or when patients get sick and I get a gap in the daily schedule. According to the specs, the battery should be able to last up to 21 hours with Apple TV app movie playback, up to 14 hours wireless web, and it consists of a 100 watt-hour lithium polymer battery. Apple has also brought a fast charge capability to the MacBooks for the first time, allowing us to charge the laptop battery up to 50% in just 30 minutes. By the way, fast charging on the 16-inch is only available with the MagSafe, so unlike with the 14-inch, not with the Thunderbolt cable. And another less known feature of the 16-inch is the high power mode, which isn't available to the 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can activate it by going to Preferences, Battery, Energy mode when running on battery. If the battery can last me 10 hours of editing on and off, I'll be content. Now let's move to the actual game changer, the M1 Max chip. Guys, I'm extremely stoked for this one. Apple is transitioning to their own silicon-based chips now and said goodbye to Intel chips. The Apple M1 Max chip has 10-core CPU, of which 8 performance cores and 2 efficiency cores and 32 GPU cores, 16 neural engine cores and 400 GB per second memory bandwidth. You can also attach 3 XDR displays and a 4K screen. Powerhouse, absolute freaking powerhouse. As I said before, I went with the 64 GB of RAM because I'll gradually need more and more RAM as I progress with this and my other YouTube channel. Right now it is definitely overkill for me, however, I rationalize it by telling myself I want to future-proof it. Time is already precious, it's always precious guys, that's the one thing we can never get back. And in a few months, when I hopefully graduate, my hourly rate will increase tremendously as a dentist, hence I don't want to waste a lot of time unnecessarily waiting on exports, RAM previews and projects crashing. Also, I will buy the A7S IV if it comes out to upgrade from this Sony A7C as I expand my currently basic skills with filmmaking. If I don't get that camera, then perhaps a nice cinema camera. And the files of those suckers are huge. I'll need the processing power for it. Oh, and I also love to record B-roll sequences in the near future and get better and better in that. So let's tackle the question, what should you get? The answer to that question is a very dissatisfying one. It depends on what you need. These M1 Pro and M1 Max are expensive. If I wasn't a still starting YouTuber or didn't need the high-end powerful performance for work, I wouldn't buy the 32 GB, let alone 64 GB of RAM. I'd get a base model with the M1 Pro chip. The base models, which are already expensive enough, would be able to last you a good couple of years with it. If you are a student and still want the newest of the newest, most likely you won't need the higher-end configurations. If you use programs like SPSS for statistical analysis, you might consider upgrading to 32 GB of RAM if you use it heavily, and even then, it might be overkill. If you guys are interested in me comparing my Premiere Pro project export times between the Mac Mini M1 and this beast of a system, let me know in the comments below. There were quite a few projects I couldn't export on the M1 Mac Mini 8GB in 4K, so wondering if that project will turn on the fans of this MacBook. Also, throughout the last months I got quite a few tech products like this DJI Ronin RSC2, Sony A7C, Tamron 28-75mm f2.8 lens, Tamron 24mm f2.8 lens, the DJI Air 2S drone, and AirPods Pro to just name a few. I've also been looking for a widescreen monitor. It obviously won't beat the screen of this MacBook, but more screen real estate for at-home editing can't hurt. I've been looking at some LG screens. If you know a good monitor, by the way, under $1,000, I'd like to hear it in the comments. Reviews on those products will follow eventually, so let me know which ones of these you'd like to see first.